Okay, guys, this lesson might take a little while, like the last one. Last one took me over an hour to do. This one, hopefully, I will be able to do a little faster. Whoops, you know what? I see I messed up on this. I put 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 6 to the fifth power. That is wrong. That, written as a multiplication problem, is 5 times 6 because you're adding 6 5 times. So I'm going to go over this a little bit with you guys. Um, Try to engrave this into you. Then I have section 1.4. We'll be able to finish over that pretty fast. Then you guys can spend the weekend doing the summary. The summary is just more exercises for you to do because this is a big chapter, got a lot of big concepts. So, anyways, let's get back to it. Number 2, in the multiplication, 7 times 3 equals 21. The product is, well, the product is the number that you get from multiplying is 21. Remember, product. And the factors are 7 and 3, because those are the factors are what are being multiplied. Doesn't matter what order the factors are in, the product will always be the same, at least when you're dealing with 2. Yeah, that should be the same when you're dealing with more than 2, but all multiplication. So, in the exponential expression 3 to the fourth power, the base is 3. That's the big number. And the exponents is 4. So, that was right? Yes. So, the evaluation 3 to the fourth power uses 3 as a factor 4 times. Oh, so it wants me to do 3, 3, 3, and 3. And what does that equal? 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 28. But you know what? I have a calculator right here. So what I am going to do is I am going to hit 3. Then I'm going to hit the YX right under the off button, and I'm going to hit 4. Then equals, and the answer is 81, which is 9 times 9, which I could have done. 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 9 is 81. But I instead tried to do it the harder way. Okay, so state the base and the exponents of the exponential equations. 5 squared. Well, it wants to know what squared is. And remember, when you times a square, you're timesing 5 times itself. So it's only being 5 times 5, which is 2 times. Now it says 4 to the sixth power. So your base would be 4, and your exponent would be 6, because it's saying the power. Okay, number 7, cubed. Well, cubed is, say, like drawing a cube. You have a 3-dimensional, so you're timesing this by this, but you're also timesing it by that to make it a cube. Okay, so 7 cubed would be 7 would be the base, and 3 would be the exponent. So, hopefully that makes sense. For exercises 5 and 6, use the division problem. 495 divided by 6. Remember, this symbol here always means divided. It's not on a computer, so I don't know. Maybe it'll go to the same thing as cursive. Cursive, we don't really use it anymore. Why? Because it's not used anymore. Because we use computers so much now. Okay, express the division problem using the symbol divided by. So we're going to put 495, it's a bad 400, divided by 6. Then we're going to express the division problem using a fraction. So next we write 496 divided by 6. So we've gone over this before when I was teaching you guys algebra, but I want to make sure that you guys are getting this. And if you guys have to pause the video to go back and do some of this stuff, feel welcome to do that. Okay, circle the number that divide evenly into 15. The numbers are called we're going to say factors of 15. Factors are two numbers that multiply together to equal a number. So 1 is always going to be a factor, and the number is always going to be a factor. You have 1 times 15. Now 15 is odd, so 2 will not go into it. 3 will, because you go 3 times 5. Now, none of these others will go into it. 4 will not go into it. 6 will not go into it. 7 will not go into it. 8 will not go into it. 9 will not go into it. 10, 11, 12, 13, or 14. So, you should have all the factors by now. The only factors of 11 are 1 and 11. Number 11 is called a prime number. That is PRI. Is a prime number, which means it's in its lowest factor already. That's where I think the number 27. But 27 has 3 and 9 that will go into it. So I don't really like 3 times 9. Anyway, never have. I was a little kid and it drove me crazy. But now I just use that as a memorization technique. Okay, so I'm gonna go. You guys do all these, and try to do them. Like you drove at 60 miles per hour for 4 hours. Find the total distance you traveled. Well, you take 60 times 4. But, okay, so now they want you to multiply these. Remember, when you have parentheses next to each other like this, that just means multiply. When you have the X in there, it means multiply, but don't use it when you're in algebra because algebra loves to use X as a variable. This again, it's 4 times 623. And the same here and the same here. Remember when these are next to each other. And when there's the dot, it means multiply, usually. And when you see 2 two variables or a number next to a variable. Hopefully we'll get into some of that down here. So this has the dot. So you just times this by this. We are on page 60 right now. Okay. So over here we go 7.60,047. Just do multiplication. Right here we have the x. And that's probably because of how they're written. But again, guys, use your calculators. You can figure them all out by hand. I've shown you how to do that. I can show you it again. But you do 6 times 3, which would be 18. Then you would do 6 times 5, which would be 30, but you carry the 1 down and then carry the 3 over. Then you go 6 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. 6 times 7 is 42. Then you would do the same with the 4 times 3 is 12. And you make sure you put it over here. If it helps to put a 0 right there, put a 0 right there. That is all that's worth is 0. Okay, so then you go 4 times 5 is 25. And this is where it gets bad, the way I'm writing this right now, because it's hard to keep track. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. Then you do 4 times 7 is 28. Then you add them up. I don't know that I did that perfectly, but guess what? You have a calculator, they require it. Okay. Find the product of 503. Remember, product is what you get, is your answer to a multiplication problem. So you just go 3 times 500, which you could just do 3 times 5 is 15 and then tack on the 2 zeros. So your answer is 1,500 or 1,500. And again, these are just different ways of remembering what to do, or knowing how to do what means what for multiplication problems. So find 30 multiplied by 80. So you would just go multiplied. So you would multiply. So the figure at the right shows the number of calories burned on 3 different exercise machines during 1 hour of light, moderate, or vigorous workout. How many calories would you burn by A, working out vigorously on a stair climber for a total of 6 hours, and B, working out moderately on a treadmill for a total of 12 hours? So let's look for the stair climber. Which one? Down here. Okay, the stair climber is the blue line. So, working out on that, and it said, during a light workout, how many calories would you burn on A, working out vigorously on a stair climber? So, we go, stair climber is the blue line, vigorously would be 373. Now, if we did that for 6 hours, which would be crazy, but I'm expecting, I can't think you'd be able to do vigorously for that long, but let's say you burned 373 times 6. So, whatever that answer would be. So you burn over 1,800 calories, which if you ate 2,000 calories, you would burn off everything you ate for the day, which might be nice, but not as feasible. Okay, so if you worked on a treadmill for a total of 12 hours, so um, this the red line means treadmill, and you worked on it moderately. So you worked moderately on the treadmill, you burn 353 calories. So you would times that by 12 to find out how many total calories you burned. Okay, multiply. Check by estimating the product. Again, I'm not going to worry that you guys estimate a whole bunch, but to estimate, we would take, say, let's round to the thousands. We have 3,000 right here. Now we look over here to the hundreds and we see a 4. Well, 4 is less than 5. So we're going to round down or round down to 3,000. Now over here we have 3,000. We're going to multiply, or we have 300. So we take the 3 and we look over here and it's a 5. 5 and higher we round up, so that 3 becomes a 4 and everything after it becomes 0. So 3 times 400. You could do that. I don't really care because as it is, we use calculators and we don't have to round as often as we used to. If I'm trying to figure it out in my head, I'll round. But if if you struggle with that, then just do it. Just do it with your calculator. Okay, A and B. So this is A times B. So we go A equals 465. And remember, this is another way of multiplying. When you have them next to each other, you multiply. So you just multiply, just plug those in for your factors. Okay, again, you're doing that again down here. Good luck. Okay, let's look at this one of these. Find a one-digit number and a two-digit number whose product is a number that ends in two zeros. Okay, find a one-digit number and a two-digit number whose product is a number, two-digit, whole number, two-digit. Find one-digit number, two-digit number. So if you took, I guess you could take 9 times 20, and that would be, I think it would end in with two zeros. I don't know. You can deal with that. Okay. Identify the property that justifies the statement 1 times 29 equals 29. I believe that was the property of 1. Like I told you before, I need to get a cheat sheet for you with all the properties on it. I never really dealt much with the property of 1 when I was in school. We didn't call it a property. It was just any number times 1 is the number you're timesing by 1. So this one is 10 times 5 times 8. This is the associate associative property. You know that because they have parentheses and they're moving the parentheses. You're going to get the same product. They're just moving the parentheses. Okay, this is 43 times 1 equals 1 times 43. That is the commutative property of multiplication. Those are important. It's more important that you know how to use the property. And I can't say I've ever really been asked for the name other than in a math class, but it's still cool. Okay, number 52, the commutative property of multiplication. So if 19 times question mark equals 30 times 19, 30 must equal the question mark because we're using the commutative property. Now, okay, so let's skip down to number 55. The multiplication property of 1 is blank times 77 equals 77. Your answer there would be 1. So I think I was right when I was doing this one up here, calling it the 1, or 48, calling it the 1 property. Okay, so again, you guys work through all of these. This is so repetitive to ingrain it into your brains. Okay, now 56 is an easy one. Is 6 a solution of the equation 4x equals 24? Well, you just put 6 in for the x. And they're right next to each other, the 4 and the x, so that means multiply. So is 4 times 6 24? I'm not going to do the math, but I'm pretty sure it is. But use your calculators, do the math, and figure it out. Okay, so number 19. A solution of the equation 2y equals 38. And is 19 a solution? Plug 19. Is 2 times 19 equal 38? I don't know. Figure it out. Okay. Kind of a bad way of looking at things, but it's math. You need to do the work yourself. Okay, so write each in exponential form. So how many 2's are we multiplying? 1, 2, 3. So we write 2 to the third power. Now, how many 7's are we doing? We're still going to multiply. Now we're going to do 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7 is our base and 5 is our exponent. Just do that on all of these. Now you can figure it out. You can go 2 to the third times 7 to the fifth, and it works. Okay, this down here shows a variable, c times c. Well, that is just c squared. You don't know what c is, but it doesn't matter because you're not answering for c. You're just writing it as an exponential equation. So now here it says evaluate. 2 to the fifth power. You could write 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2's. Or you could hit 2 right under the off button, the YX. And then 5. Your answer should be 32. Okay? Not hard to do. Then you do that too with the 6. Then you would do that separately. You do 2 to the third. Whatever 2 to the third is. 2 times 2, that should be 8. 5 squared is 25. So now you have an easy problem to do. 8 times 25. And that's, I'm not going to figure that one out right now. You can do it easily with a calculator. Find the square of 12. So you just do 12 times 12, which is 144. I remember that from college. It was a very common squared number. Tell me it is in the kids in the 8th grade told me it is in the 8th grade too. So all these are, you're going to solve x equals 2. So you take 2 to the third power times y, which is 3. So times y. So 2 to the third power times y, which would be, what, 8 times 3, which would be 24, I think. But don't just trust me, verify. Okay, so all these are the same. This is going to take you guys a long time to do. Take your time, but do it right. Now, this is a division problem which gets a lot of my students because they haven't been exposed to division like this. I've said this many times before. You just enter this number divided by this number. Okay, and on all of these. And when you get down to like 106, you enter this number divided by this number. Okay, number 110. Boy, you guys have done a lot of work right now. Be proud of yourselves. It says write the quotient of C and D. So you write C divided by D. And that is how you would do that. Now, this says divide, then check by estimating. I can show you estimating, but I don't really find it that worthy. But you guys can do that. You can just do the whole problem. Down here, do the whole problem. This divided by this. Okay. Now, again, it's doing the expression x over y, which is just division. So you go 48 over 1, which would be 48, because any number divided by 1 is that number. That's not a very good written one, but we're not going to do many more of those. Okay, so this is studying over objective D. Now, this is a little bit tougher. It says find all the factors of the numbers. Yeah, you know what? Factors are somewhat important. I don't find them as important as they make them out to be, but we're going to do the factors of 1 and 10, because you go 1 times 10 equals 10. So that's a factor that every number is going to have is 1 in itself. Now, you go above that. Let's go 2 and 5. Now, you can't do 3. 3 doesn't go into 10. 4 doesn't go into 10. And 5 goes into 10, but 5 is already there. None of the other numbers will work. So you have 4 factors. Okay. 20. 20 is very similar. You have 1 and 20. 1 times 20. Well, you have 2 times 10. Then you have 3 will not go into it. So you have 4 and 5. Then no other numbers will go into it. So it's got 1, 2. Wait a minute. 1, 2. What was that? Oh, that's the 20, not the 2. not another number. I was trying to figure out what I'd written. Okay, so 12. And you guys do that the same on all of these. This is important work. Okay, so find the prime factorization of the number. So the prime factorization, I don't recall what that is off the top of my head. This will go 1, 16, it will go 2, 8, and it won't go 3, but it will go 4. 4 times 4. And then it goes to 8. What would be the prime one? I'd have to look back up. I didn't study that today. Okay. Anyways, I want you guys to keep working on these. This is going to take some time, and if you guys have trouble, go ahead and talk to me. But, okay, next, right here, I sent Judy the pages that I missed. I didn't miss 68, I missed 67, but I made a scan of both of the pages so she can slide them into your books. So here is page 67. I put it here on another one. Draw. Let's move this a little bit. And so page 67. Okay. Now, sometimes when you're doing problems, you'll have more than one operation. So in the example, it says 4 plus 3 times 5. So you have to know what problem to do first in the equation. So you do, what you have to do is remember the order of operations, which is parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. And you can remember that by, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So if you see parentheses up here, you do that first. You do what's inside the parentheses. Here, there's nothing inside the parentheses other than 5. So what we would do first, and there is no exponents, and there is no, well, the next one is exponents multiply. So is there a multiplication? Yes, there's 3 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Now you're going to do the plus 4, which would be 19. And that's what they did right here. Okay, so we're going to read on the order of operations agreement. Step 1, do all operations inside parentheses. Now, if you have brackets outside the parentheses, that's considered parentheses, but usually you do what's on the inner inside parentheses first. Okay, so step 2, simplify any numerical expression containing exponents. So we have the P, parentheses, that's please. We have the exponents, which is excuse. That's what we do next. Now do multiplication. That is multiplication and division. And for multiplication and division, you just do left to right. Okay, so multiplication, that is my. Division is D, so it's please excuse my dear And then we go down to addition, which would be Aunt, and subtraction, which would be Sally. So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That is how you remember the order of operations. So it's parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. So again, up here it shows, right here it shows um, 5 times 6 plus 4, parentheses 6 plus 4, minus 2 to the third power. Well, if they want you to do inside these parentheses first, you're going to do what's inside the parentheses first, so you get 10. Now, next, you're going to do the exponents. So you're going to go 2 to the third power, which I'm thinking is 8, because 2 to the second, 2 squared is 4, then you times it by another 2, and it should be 8. So now you have to do in order. So you have 5 times 10, which is 50, minus 8, which should be 42. Now, the cool thing is, you guys have scientific calculators. If you were to put this into your scientific calculator, let's make sure that, oops. So let's go 5, parentheses, 6. Okay, so we still have to do 5 times parentheses, do 5 times parentheses 6 plus 4 end parentheses minus 2 to the third power, 2 to the third power equals, and I just got 42 on the calculator. So it is possible to do with your scientific calculator. So, how to number 1. So we're going to look at this. We're going to look at this first, and we're going to say, we're on this one, we're going to say there is no parentheses. So we don't do parentheses. But there's no exponents. So then we look for multiply. There's no multiply. Then we look for divide. Well, there is a divide. So we go 9 divided by 3, which is 3. We go plus 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. And that should get you the correct answer. And that's what they have over here, even though I ignored what they had. Okay, so we are on 68 right now, which actually we do have that on the other page. But so evaluate 5a minus b plus 3 to the second power equals a equals 6, b equals 1, and c equals 3. So let's figure this out. So don't be looking down at the answer. A equals 6. So we go 5 times 6. Well, we're not going to worry about that yet because that is in parentheses. Now, we're going to do B equals 1 plus C equals 3. So we go 1 plus 3 should equal 4. So then we go square that. So now we have to do 4 squared, which should equal 16. Get rid of all that. Then we go 5 times 6 should equal 30. So we go 30, and let's put it up here a little cleaner. 30 minus 16, which should equal 14. 14 is our answer, and 14 is the answer down here. Now, I did that in my head. Use your calculator, though. Okay? My mom could never do a problem like that. She could do it with a calculator, but... Okay. Somebody just honked out there. Okay. So, I'll do one more of these with you. 18 divided by 6 plus 3 times 9. Well, let's minus 4 squared. So, let's do the parentheses first. Let's go 6 plus 3 equals 9. Then we do 4 squared equals 16. So we're going to do 9 times 9, and then we'll do 18 divided by 9. So this we have to go left to right. Even if it's multiply and divide, those are just done left to right. Because you would think, well, I have to do the multiplication first. No, because the division comes first. Add and subtract is the same way. So we go 18 divided by 2 is 9. So, or no, wait. We go 18 divided by 9 is 2. I don't know why I did 2 instead. And we'll just do 2. Okay. So then we go 2 times 9 is 18. Then we do 18 minus 16 equals 2. And 2 is our answer, and 2 is what they get down there. They do it a little bit cleaner than I do it. You can follow their example a little bit more, but that is how you do the order of operations. So, giving you a bunch more examples right here. Now, I'm going to go back to our Chapter 1, whole numbers. Okay, there's what we just did. Now we are down on to exercise 1.4. You guys are going to have to spend all weekend working on this. Yay! Okay, the first step is simplifying the expression. 18 minus 7 times 2 is. So, what we're going to do is we're going to simplify it. We're going to do 18 minus, and then we go 7 times 2, because that's multiply. You do that before you do the subtraction. 7 times 2 is 14. Now, does it say answer it? I don't know if it does, but we will just be careful. We'll go 4. So, 18 minus 4 is 4. Now, simplify 2 to the third power plus 3 times. They actually do have the dot in there for times, but they could have just put the 3 right next to the parentheses. But we go 3 times 1 plus 4. We can add the 3 and the 1, or the 1 and the 4, and get 5. And then we could take 2 to the third power, which would be 8. 8 plus 3 times 5. So 8 plus 3 would be 11. 11 times 5 should be 55. Oh, and they actually wrote over here what you were supposed to do. That's cool enough how we did it. Okay. It would have been a lot cleaner if I'd realized that. Okay, so simplify. Again, we're just doing 8 divided by 4 plus 2. This is an easy one because it's just you go in order, left to right. 8 times 4, or 8 divided by 4 is 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 4. So you guys keep doing that on all of these. Sometimes you might have to go back and look at your notes. That's where I'm going to try to make the guided notes for you. So you can just just have a note page. And I'm going to have you take a lot more notes on a note page. Okay, so again, we're just doing the same things. X minus 2y. X equals 8. Y, what is y? Y equals 3. So we go 2 times 3. Now we have to do the 2 times 3 first. So we just end up doing 8 minus 6 equals 2. So again, you're just plugging the numbers in. I don't want to do all these for you guys because this is a lot of work. So up here, it's 5 plus 7 times 3 minus 1. And first thing you would do, actually for this exercise, 45 to 18, insert parentheses as needed in the expression. 5 plus 3 times 3 minus 1 in order to make the equation true. Oh, I hate these. Really hate these because it's like, okay, so would you do 5 plus 7, which would equal 12? 12 times 3. 12 times 3 would be 36, minus 1 would be 35. That wouldn't work. So what would happen if we did 20, 21, because these two would equal 21, plus 5 would be 27, minus 1 would be 19. That still wouldn't work, so it's not where we want our parentheses. Let's see, how would we do this? Then we would do 3 minus 1 would equal 2. Would equal 2. Then you would take, oh, I see. Okay, so you would take 3 minus 1 would equal 2. Then you would take 7 times 2, which would equal 14. Then you would do plus 5. 5 plus 14 equals 19. So you would put the parentheses right here to make that a true expression. That's going to be a little bit trickier. Good luck, guys. But you know what? You can do it. And use your calculators. Okay. So that is the end of the chapter 1.4 exercise. You got a lot of work to do. Okay, now we are doing a whole summary over chapter 1 right now. So we are doing the greater than, less than. We're doing putting them in order. These are the natural numbers. These are the whole numbers, which only thing different is the 0. You guys have gotten into some negative numbers, but those are called integers. Okay, so now we're doing the subtraction. Do the subtraction. Doing multiplication. Again, this is the chapter summary of it. Actually, this is just a chapter summary. This isn't. I thought it was a whole work that you had to do. So this is just a summary over what we just did. So this says this is the graph of 4 on the number line. So number 4, it's got it kind of darkened right there. You can darken it a little bit more. Okay, and you're doing greater than, less than. Again, here you're doing 24, then you'd have a comma here, and this would be, I don't know, that would be 10,000s. So you would have 24, and then you'd have your comma right here where you would say thousands. So you have thousands right there. Then you would have 0 in the hundreds, so you'd ignore the hundreds, and you would say 65. So, actually, this chapter at the end would probably be the best spot for me to make out the make out the guided notes for you guys. So, chapter 1, whole numbers. Order of operations. Okay, so now here is the chapter 1 review exercise. Again, this is going to take you guys all weekend to do this, but guess what? If you guys need to look up properties, this would properties of addition. Addition property of 0, a plus 0 equals a, or 0 plus a equals a. Actually, this is very valuable. I'm gonna take this down. So now here you do the properties of multiplication. Multiplication property of 1, multiplication property of 0. Actually, Judy, we were trying to find this the other day. It was at the end. So again, do this. Maybe make out some flashcards with this. Okay, so then we go down here and it says graph 8 on the number line. Graph 8. Okay, so this is what we've been doing. This is what we started with. And we have a lot of problems to do. I'm not going to do most of these. I've always done a couple of them for you on each one. I want to see how good you guys can do on your own, right? Right, 382,904 in words. So, right, 382 thousands, 904. Very easy to do, and won't be long, and I will be going after some writing books to teach you guys writing lessons. Anyways, guys, so this is chapter 4. So I'm going to go back over here to this one, and shoot, I don't have it opened readily available, but I will be sending you guys chapter 20 or chapter 2, which is just fractions and decimals, something that we have worked with prior. And then we will be working on, I don't know what the third one is, rational numbers or something. You guys are getting so high, and I'm so proud of you. So, you guys have a great weekend, and remember your math. That's why we're doing this so much. Okay, let's go screencastify. Let's go stop. Good.